On behalf of the local spiritual assembly of the Baha'is of St. Charles County and the Baha'is of the greater St. Charles area, welcome to this very special occasion. We are so glad you are able to join us this evening as we celebrate twin Baha'i holy days, the birth of the Bab and the birth of Baha'u'llah. These two messengers from God are the twin luminaries for this age. Tonight, we are honoring the Bicentenary, the 200th year anniversary of the birth of the Bab. Our program tonight will feature information about the Bab's life and his message, selections from the Baha'i holy writings, and uplifting music, including a special performance by our talented youth and junior youth, who provided the first element of the program tonight with their amazing living history museum. Let's give them a round of applause. As their teachers, Jackie Charlot and I are so proud of all the hard work, effort, and research that went into creating tonight's display. Following some readings and music in honor of these twin holy days, we will have the much anticipated unveiling of the Light of Unity quilt, designed by local artist Lisa Joel. Many people and many young people participated in the creation of this beautiful work of art. We are glad that some of them are here with us this evening. After our program, please linger to enjoy some refreshments and conversation, along with the musical stylings of the highly applauded local musical group, the Ralph Butler Band. We appreciate all of you for joining us this evening. Please sit back and enjoy. Thank you for coming, and welcome.
Pacific islands of Kiribati a short while ago marked the start of the global commemoration of the bicentenary of the birth of the Bab. People all around the world are gathering to celebrate two significant Baha'i Holy Day observances tonight and tomorrow night. The birth of Baha'u'llah, who was born in 1817, and 200th anniversary of the birth of the Bab, the forerunner of Baha'u'llah's revelation, who was born on this day in 1819. Over a period spanning a total of 72 hours, beginning in Kiribati tonight and ending at sunset in Hawaii tomorrow night. Celebrations will be held in thousands of localities throughout the world. Like the dawning of the sun, which rises progressively around the world, the light of these gatherings will illuminate the globe as, in community after community, people join together to sing, pray, and celebrate these auspicious anniversaries.
The Bab. Baha'is believe in God's promise that He will never leave us alone. We believe he renews his guidance and teachings for mankind. He sends divine teachers to different places in the world at different times. He sent Buddha, Krishna, Moses, Abraham, Christ, Mohammed, and most recently, the Bab and Baha'u'llah. The Bab was the forerunner and herald of the Baha'i faith, whose dramatic ministry paved the way for the appearance of Baha'u'llah.
In the words of Abdul Baha, the morn of truth and the harbinger of the most great light, whose advent at once signalized the termination of the prophetic cycle and the inception of the cycle of fulfillment. The Bab, the remembrance of God, through his advent, fulfilled the promise of all ages and ushered in the consummation of all revelations. He is the Qayyim, promised to the Shias, the Mahdi, awaited by the Sunnis, the return of John the Baptist, expected by the Christians, and the Ushidar Ma, referred to in the Zoroastrian scriptures, the return of Elijah, anticipated by the Jews, who was to manifest the perfection of Moses, the radiance of Jesus, and the patience of Job.
Profound words. I am the mystic fame which the hand of omnipotence hath reared. I am the lamp which the finger of God hath lit within its niche and caused to shine with deathless splendor. I am the flame of that supernal light that glowed upon Sinai in the gladsome spot and lay concealed in the midst of the burning bush. This is one of his prayers.
Protect us, Lord, 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 protect us from what lies in front of us and behind us, above our heads, on our right, on our left, below our feet.
Mullah Hussein, shared these thoughts about the Bab's message. This revelation came as a thunderbolt which, for a time, seemed to have benumbed my faculties. I was blinded by its dazzling splendor and overwhelmed by its crushing force. Excitement, joy, awe, and wonder stirred the depths of my soul. Predominant among these emotions was a sense of gladness and strength, which seemed to have transfigured me. How feeble and impotent, how dejected and timid I had felt previously. Now, however, the knowledge of his revelation had galvanized my being. I felt possessed of such courage. The universe seemed but a handful of dust in my grasp. I seemed to be the voice of Gabriel personified, calling unto all mankind, "Awake, for lo, the morning light has broken. The portal of his grace is open wide. Enter therein, O peoples of the world, for he who is your promised one is come."
So what was the Bab's message that Mullah Hussein was so captivated by? The Bab called people to believe in God and to follow his teachings, to live a life of high moral character and of compassion for all. He proclaimed to his first followers thus, "O my beloved friends, you are the bearers of the name of God in this day. It behooves each one of you to manifest the attributes of God and to exemplify by your deeds and words the signs of his righteousness, his power and glory. Ponder the words of Jesus addressed to his disciples as he sent them forth to propagate the cause of God. In words such as these, he bade them arise and fulfill their mission. Ye are even as the fire which in the darkness of the night hath been kindled upon the mountain top. Let your light shine before the eyes of men. Such must be the purity of your character and the degree of your renunciation, that the people of the earth may through you recognize and be drawn closer to the Heavenly Father, who is the source of purity and grace."
When he was born in 1819, the Bab's parents named him Syed Ali Muhammad. Later he took the title of the Bab. The Bab means the gate, and he is the symbolic gate between the past ages of prophecy and the new age of the fulfillment. The Bab clearly stated that the main objective of his ministry was to awaken people to the fact that a new period in human history had begun, on which will witness the unification of all humanity. The unification of all humanity. He explained to his followers that this would be established through a divinely inspired educator, one whom he called He whom God shall make manifest. We call him Baha'u'llah, which means in English, the glory of God.
A tablet addressed to him who will be made manifest. He is God. No God is there but him, the Almighty, the best beloved. This is a letter from God, the help in peril, the self-subsisting, to affirm that the Bayan, the holy book revealed by the Bab, and such as bear allegiance to it are but a present from me unto thee, and to express my undoubting faith that there is no God but thee, that the kingdoms of creation and revelation are thine, that he whom thou hast raised up is but thy servant, and thy testimony. I, indeed, beg to address him whom God shall make manifest by thy leave in these words. Shouldst thou dismiss the entire company of the followers of the Baha'i by a mere sign of thy finger, even while still a suckling babe, thou wouldst indeed be praised in thy indication. Thou art verily the Lord of grace abounding.
Here are some of the fundamental principles of their teachings. The oneness of God.
God testifieth that there is none other God but him. Yield thee praise then unto him, and glorify him, and bear ye witness to the sanctity and oneness of his being.
The oneness of humanity.
Ye are the fruits of one tree, and the leaves of one branch. All of the nations, peoples, and tongues are the branches, leaves, blossoms, and fruits of this great tree of humanity.
The elimination of all forms of prejudice.
O children of men, know ye not why we created you from all the same dust, that no one should exalt himself over the other? Ponder at all times in your hearts how ye were created.
The equality of men and women.
The world of humanity has two wings. One is women, the other men. Not until both wings are equally developed can the bird fly.
The harmony of science and religion.
Science and religion, the two most potent forces in human life, will be reconciled, will cooperate, and will harmoniously develop.
The independent investigation of spiritual truth.
The best beloved of all things in my sight is justice. By its aid thou shalt see with thine own eyes, and not through the eyes of others, and thou shalt know thine own knowledge, and not through the knowledge of thy neighbor.
Spiritual solutions to social and economic problems.
Tell the rich of the midnight signs of the poor. To give and to be generous are attributes of mine. Well it is with him that adorneth himself with my virtues.
The promise of world peace.
We desire but the good of the world and the happiness of the nations, that the bonds of affection and unity between the sons of men should be strengthened, and differences of race be annulled. What harm is there in this? Yet so it shall be. These fruitless strifes, these ruinous wars shall pass away, and the most great peace shall come.
One
close this portion of our program tonight with a special prayer written in honor of this holy day.
In the name of the one born on this day, him whom God hath made to be the herald of his name, the Almighty, the All-Loving. This is a tablet we have addressed unto that night, wherein the heavens and the earth were illumined by a light that cast its radiance over the entire creation. Blessed art thou, O night, for through thee was born the day of God, a day which we have ordained to be the lamp of salvation unto the denizens of the cities of names, the chalice of victory unto the champions of the arenas of eternity, and the dawning place of joy and exaltation unto all creation. Immeasurably exalted is God, the maker of the heavens, who hath caused this day to speak forth that name whereby the veils of idle fancy have been rent asunder, the mists of vain imaginings have been dispelled, and his name, the self-subsisting, hath dawned above the horizons of certitude. Through thee the choice wine of everlasting life hath been unsealed. The doors of knowledge and utterance have been unlocked before the peoples of the earth, and the breezes of the All-Merciful have been wafted over every region. All glory be to that hour, wherein the treasure of God, the all-powerful, the all-knowing, the all-wise, hath appeared. O concourse of earth and heaven, this is that first night which God hath made to be a sign of that second night, wherein was born he whom no praise can befittingly extol, and no attribute describe. Well as with him who reflecteth upon them both, verily he will find their outer reality to correspond to their inner essence, and will become acquainted with the divine mysteries that lie enshrined in this revelation, a revelation through which the foundations of misbelief have been shaken, the idols and superstitions have been shattered, and the banner hath been unfurled which proclaimeth, no God is there but him, the powerful, the exalted, the incomparable, the protector, the mighty, the inaccessible. On this night, the fragrance of nearness was wafted. The portals of reunion at the end of days were flung open, and all created things were moved to exclaim, the kingdom is God's, the Lord of all names, who is come with world-embracing sovereignty. On this night, the concourse on high celebrated the praise of their Lord, the exalted, the most glorious, and the realities of the divine names extolled him who was the King of the beginning and the end in this revelation, a revelation whose potency the mountains have hastened unto him who is the all-sufficing, the Most High, and the hearts have turned towards the continents of their best beloved, and the leaves have been stirred into motion by the breezes of yearning, and the trees have raised their voices in joyful reply to the call of him who is the unconstrained, and the entire earth hath trembled with longing in its desire to attain reunion with the eternal King. And all things have been made new by that concealed word which hath appeared in this mighty name. Thou verily art the Lord of bounty, the all-powerful, the ever-forgiving, the most generous.
Ye are the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. Deal ye with one another with the utmost love and harmony, with friendliness and fellowship. So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole world.
ای اهل عالم، سراپرده یگانگی بلند شد. به چشم بیگانگان هم دیگر را نبینید. همه بار یک دارید و برگ یک شاخسار.
La parole de Dieu est une lampe dont la lumière tient dans ses mots. Vous êtes les fruits d'un même arbre, les feuilles d'une même branche. Que vos relations avec vos semblables soient toujours empruntées d'amour et d'harmonie, de l'esprit le plus amicable et le plus fraternel. Si puissante est la lumière de l'unité qu'elle peut illuminer toute la terre. Baha'u'llah.
O flame of the love of God, the ray must shed light, and the sun must rise. Since thou art a ray, beseech thou the Lord to enable thee to give illumination and enlightenment, to brighten the horizons, and to consume the world with the fire of the love of God. I hope that you mayest attain such a station, nay, surpass it. Upon thee be his glory.
Glory be to thee, O Lord my God. Make manifest the rivers of thy sovereign might, that the waters of thy unity may flow through the inmost reality of all things, in such wise that the banner of thine unfailing grace may be raised aloft in the kingdom of thy command, and the stars of thy divine splendor may shine brightly in the heaven of thy majesty. Potent art thou to do what pleaseth thee. Thou verily art the help in peril, the self-subsisting.
And then God said, go make a quilt. I have to tell you, that conversation was a long time ago. That's how it happens sometimes. I'm a brand new Baha'i. If I haven't never met you, my name is Lisa Joelle, and I'm proud to be part of the family. I say brand new. Been a Baha'i for about 1.5 years now. I was probably not quite 1 year old whenever God said, hey, go make this quilt. So you can understand my trepidation. That's not really how it happened. When I was a younger woman, I investigated some different faiths. And in each of them I asked, what does faith mean? How do you know when God is talking to you? Well, I suppose it's different for everyone, but I happen to be an artist, a visual artist, and for me, God showed me the end product right away. There were no words. There didn't need to be any words. I understood what I saw. I understood the purpose. But I didn't know what the path was going to look like. It's very exciting, let me tell you. It has been quite a journey. Thousands of man, woman, and child hours were poured into this. Technically, we know it's not a quilt. We're certainly not going to put it on the bed. It is more, it is in truth a fiber piece. It is a collaged fiber piece, but everyone knows it as a quilt. Families make quilts. Yeah? Some families, some southern families make crazy quilts. So you will notice a lot of crazy quilt stitching on there because I'm part of the family, you understand? Some of you, in fact, I would love to see a show of hands of any of you who had any part in this. Did any of you, were you coerced into sewing buttons or beads? Oh, yeah! I'm very, very happy. So excited. Probably at any number of gatherings that we have had, you were handed maybe a paper sack, perhaps a paper sack with a few beads and some thread, a needle, and maybe you've never picked up such things in your life, and you had no idea what the vision was going to be at the end. Well, I truly am grateful that you stuck it out, whatever you did. How much loving intentions were woven and sewn and painted onto these pieces. These pieces that from a distance look like flowers. Flowers, maybe they're eye holes, maybe they're turned up toward the sun on either side of this river. All symbolism, all wonderful things, all a sense of community. There's not a piece on here that's the same. It might be made out of the same fabric, maybe. Some of us are sort of loosely made out of the same fabric, but we don't look alike. We are included in quite a tapestry of beauty and wonder. We have pieces that were sewn on here by some of our Mormon friends. This quilt was meant to be a race amity quilt, and it transformed into something that was going to be an annotated race amity quilt. We interviewed people or had them write little mini blurbs or essays about their thoughts on how we're going to heal this dilemma in our community, in our world. How are we going to understand one another as one world, family? So this is all I've been working from. It's just my first sketch of the first idea. It's crazy. And we as a team had the privilege to work with not just you guys, our family, members of our Baha'i family across the state and neighboring states whenever we went to Flome. We also got to work with people at the Boys and Girls Club in St. Charles, and we developed some wonderful relationships there. We got to work with some community members of Ferguson, Missouri. This quilt is going to live on. There were many people who were not able to participate alongside everyone else, yeah? But there is no way that we are going to close it. There's plenty of space on the banks of this river, in the sky, on the border, wherever we want it to be. So I'm going to start a blog and invite more people to join in. I'll probably get that going before the end of the year, and it will be well publicized, and people from all over the world can participate. I will mail them tiny little egg shapes that they will ponder on. What should I do with this? As many of you did. What is she doing to me? Never done anything like this before. The joy of seeing people be creative who didn't think they could be. The joy of seeing people who are loving and attached to God pour themselves into something greater than they are, greater than we are. A piece of art. Art is worship, yeah? So the quote is by Shoghi Effendi. They whose hearts are warmed by the energized influence of God's creative love cherish his creatures for his sake and recognize in every human face a sign of his reflective glory. Shoghi Effendi.
Wow.
Thank you. You guys did this.
There are many people we need to thank tonight. First, we would like to thank our hosts, the St. Charles Community College, for having us in their beautiful space and providing tonight's catering at the State Building. I would like to thank my fearless compatriots who have been working tirelessly for the past 2 years to bring both tonight and tomorrow night's events to fruition. Could I have the committee members of the Mo 2 Twin Holy Days Committee please stand?
I have a
saints who follow the